Are those new Beats?
Yeah. Thank you for noticing.
Did you know? I like Beats. I like the way they look. I did read, though, that they put weight in them that isn't necessary because they say psychologically you could charge more if you make something heavy. Like there's something in our brains that go, oh, it's heavy, let me pay more for it.
These have a bit of weight to them.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily the greatest headphones either.
Really?
Like a friend of mine, John Sparks, is a audio engineer.
I'm sorry, what?
John Sparks.
You both have the same fake name?
Yeah. We've actually done music together. We've released 2 compilation albums under the moniker The Sparks Foundation.
Sure, absolutely.
And he says that he doesn't really like to use Beats headphones when he mixes records because I forget the terms that he was saying because he got really into it. So I guess it just doesn't give the richness and the tone and texture that one needs to mix the stuff.
So
down.
did you pay for those or did you get them somehow?
Come on, Michael. Please.
So
don't pay for these.
How do I sound right now? Is this no good?
No, you actually sound very good. Just listening to your voice in these Beats by Dre headphones, you sound very nice.
I like the byline on a product. You know what I mean? Beats by Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Originally, they wanted Will.i.am.
That's too wordy. Beats by Will.i.am?
Yeah. Oh, they probably wouldn't have said Beats by Will.i.am.
Wait. Are you telling me that Dr. Dre did not use his degree to engineer these beats, that they just put his name on it?
He used his business degree. Dr. Dre has many, many master's degrees.
What about George Foreman? He created that grill, though, right?
No, actually, if you want to hear something funny, Hulk Hogan originally turned it down.
But didn't Hulk Hogan have, like, Hogan's pasta maker or some shit like that?
Yeah, and a blender before everybody started to do the fruit smoothies.
It's really sad when somebody turns down something good and then they realize they fucked up, so they say yes to the next thing, and the next thing's some sad
invention that doesn't really work and nobody wants it.
Yeah, I was just listening to a podcast about just talking about 70s movies, and they were talking about how the Bee Gees did the soundtrack for Saturday Night Fever, and they asked Curtis Mayfield to be on the soundtrack, and he said no, and then he fucked up because that was the biggest soundtrack ever. So then he said yes to another movie called It's Friday Night, which was a shitty Saturday Night Fever wannabe.
But see, Curtis Mayfield has his own.
Well, he did Superfly, right?
And to me, that's the best movie soundtrack from that generation in the 70s. I prefer Superfly over Saturday Night Fever. I'm just not a big disco guy. You give me soul and funk, and I'm all in. Especially in the 70s?
Yeah.
Oof. Brother.
What's cool is that he's in the movie singing it.
Yes.
It sort of breaks the diegesis of the movie that, like, he walks into a club and then there's a band playing his theme song. But, you know, it was fun times back then. You want to talk about news? Oh, wait, you want to say what show this is?
That would be nice. What show is this?
What's the name of our show? Wrestle Rap?
No. That's the other one I'm on. This one is called Pop Culture Man Children.
This is Pop Culture Man Children, PCMC. Right in front of me, sprawled out on the floor, is Mr. Emilio Sparks.
Do you like my orthopedic dad shoes?
No, I like your Adidas. I'm a big fan of the Adidas brand.
Oh, thank you. So you knew these were Adidas?
Well, it says Adidas right there. Oh, okay. That's All Day Long I Dream of Sports?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Sometimes it could be sandwiches. Other times it could be sex.
I all day long dream of sandwiches.
Sandwiches are good.
Yeah.
But these are real comfy. These are those Kanye West Yeezy 500 orthopedic shoes.
So that's Emilio Sparks. Those are his shoes. I'm Mike Pagano.
I don't.
You can listen to Pop Culture Man Children everywhere that podcasts are available. Google Play, Apple Music, Stitcher, Spotify. We're in your ear right now. You know, maybe you're driving right now, or maybe you're on the treadmill, and you want to listen to a nice PCMC while you're getting in shape.
Hey, nothing says getting you in the zone like Mike Bongiorno and Emilio Sparks talking about the world of pop culture.
Yeah. You can do it. Hey. I'm talking right to you. You know who I'm talking. I'm talking to you. Stop looking at the time. Just look ahead.
That, you know what? Add a little bit more intensity.
On the screen.
Add a little bit more intensity.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Bring up that incline. You can do it. Come on. Push yourself a little harder today.
Maybe it's Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday.
Any of the days, really.
And you're feeling a little bit sluggish.
It's likely to be one of those.
think of me and Mike just being next to you saying, you can do this.
Yeah, imagine my hands massaging your shoulders.
And whispering in your ear, hey.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
We promise you. You're not a fucking failure.
Speaking of fucking failures, let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the Build-A-Bear chaos that happened.
What happened?
You don't know about the Build-A-Bear chaos?
No, I don't follow them religiously.
So Build-A-Bear has this thing that they do if you're like in Build-A-Bear's their online club or whatever.
And you are?
No, I'm not. But basically, like, if you're signed up with them, when it's your birthday, you can pay your age. So, like, if you're turning 3, you could turn 3. I don't know how they verify this, but that's what you can do. So, for a promotion on, what was it, July 12th, they did this. On July 12th, they did, we're going to do, doesn't matter if it's your birthday or not, pay your age day. And they did not anticipate, I guess, what a popular brand they are. Because by 11 a.m. on the day that they did it, the malls, because they're like all in malls, they were packed with people. People were trampling over each other. There were hundreds of people. It was a scene. The local authorities came in and said, this is really dangerous. You can't have this. Only a couple hours into the day, about 11 a.m., they were like, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to turn you away because we've been told that this is fucking crazy.
Wait a minute.
And a lot of people got really upset. And now imagine like hundreds of kids crying.
Wait a minute. So even in the Staten Island Mall, there was a huge to-do?
Yes.
Every time I walk past that place, it looks like a dead zone.
You know, maybe it says something about our economy that people were like, oh, okay, cheap teddy bears. But
I didn't even know Build-A-Bear was still a thing.
Apparently it's a big thing.
I never did one. Have you?
You've seen the plushie chair. A lot of those are from Build-A-Bear. I have a Chewbacca from Build-A-Bear. I have a little Slimer with a proton pack from Build-A-Bear. I tend to go for the licensed stuff rather than the regular bears.
So instead of just creating your own bear, you're just going to...
I shill and pay money to
God forbid you
Disney.
think outside the box and be like, oh, I'm going to have my own Ghostbuster bear named Billy.
No,
Billy the Ghostbuster Bear.
No. I didn't even want the major Ghostbuster bear. I just wanted the Slimer, which is technically not... He's like an accessory, because sometimes they make accessories. I also have a Rocket Raccoon with a little baby Groot.
Okay, so explain to me the process. Do you actually fill the cotton yourself?
I'll tell you exactly the process, because I did it recently, and like the 16-year-old girl who works there was like... Do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah.
And she thought, oh, well, who are you doing this for? Your child, your girlfriend?
And I honestly said to that child, I'm doing this for me.
And then she looked at you and was like,
She loved it. She was charmed. Okay, so you go in, you pick your skin. It's actually kind of creepy because it's like looks like a like somebody scalped an animal. It's just like a dead skin with no fluff in it. There's a machine that has like the cotton in it. And it's sort of like, they make it look whimsical and stuff. Oh, you put a heart in it because your bear needs a heart to come alive. Now, with a little kid, they go, kiss the heart. The girl asked me, she's like, do you want to kiss the heart? And I was like, no, I'm okay. I don't need to kiss the heart. So,
but you know you wanted to.
Yeah, I did. So, I didn't kiss the heart, but she put the heart in. There is a heart in there. And then they ask you, how do you want your bear? You want it fluffy? You want it squishy? You want it firm? You get to choose your bear. And then they fill it up, and then before they stitch it up, they give it to you, and you do a few test squeezes, see if it's to your liking, and then you leave. The last time I went, I was with a child, and I bought a child something.
Sure you were.
No, I swear I was with a child.
Sure you were.
I was with my friend and her kid. No, here's what happened. I was with my friend and her kid, and I was getting a Rocket Raccoon, and her kid wanted something. And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm a grown man who's with a little child, and I'm going to get a toy, and the little kid isn't. So I just bought the kid a toy.
Did you think in your head, this might be my only chance to do anything fatherly?
Yes, because I kind of pretended it was my kid, because when we did the whole thing of, like, filling it up, she was like, you having a fun time today? Like, I had a chance to be like, oh, no, this isn't my kid, but instead I just played the role.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, we're having a great time today.
Yeah, we're enjoying ourselves today.
Enjoy yourself, son. So, yeah, the CEO was on, I think, the Today Show the next day apologizing, and she was like, yeah, we fucked up. This was one of the biggest fuck-ups in retail history. It didn't hit the level of insanity that the McDonald's Szechuan sauce thing did, where hipsters were fucking ironically angry. But it fucked up. They had the They had to call it quits only a few hours into it, and a lot of people were mad. A lot of people were like, I came with my kids, and I waited on a fucking line for 3 hours, and then you told me I couldn't get a bear, and my kid was crying.
Well, that's the parents' fault, though. Because you
Why?
can easily go during the week when they're not doing this
And
stupid
pay
promotion.
$40 for a bear?
Why not? So let's just say you have a family of 3.
Yeah.
And a normal bear goes for what?
It's like $35, $40.
Okay. I get it. Put
But
it on the
pay
credit
your
card
age
and
thing
just do
only
it.
happens on the pay your age thing only happens on your birthday, or in this one case, this special day.
And they'll never do that again.
You can't always pay your age. So people want in like with their 3-year-olds and okay, I'll pay $3 for a bear instead of fucking 10 times that.
See, no, just pay the regular amount. Everybody's just trying to cut corners.
All right, listen, Rockefeller. Not everybody's got bear money out there to be fucking buying bears willy-nilly.
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to put a little bear money on the side and be like, okay, if my son or my daughter wants a bear, I'm going to take out a little bit each week to do it.
No, the company should have
I don't want no cheap bear.
The company should have fucking planned ahead for this.
I want to go to Build-A-Bear. I've never even stepped foot in that store in the mall.
I saw today that they're coming out with OG My Little Ponies, like the ponies from the 80s. That might be for you.
No, I'm good, but I will step foot in that. I think we should do part of our episode.
I'll tell you the next time there's a Build-A-Bear that I'm interested in, and we'll do it.
Can we do that? Can we just make that a mini? Mike builds a bear?
Yeah.
And then maybe we can interview the
bear?
Yeah. And then we'll interview the employee that makes the bear. And then she can question whether or not you or I have a child.
Oh shit, I forgot to tell you. For extra, you can buy a sound chip where you can record your voice as the bear. So I can make a bear that says, "Welcome to PCMC, Pop Culture Man Children," and then whenever you press the bear, it does that.
Now that would have been $3 also, or no?
No, I think the talking.
See, that's
is
where
like
they
another,
get you.
Well, yeah.
So the bears are just $3, but then the rest of the bullshit's going to cost them more.
Yeah.
So they're not really getting a deal, these cheap parents. It annoys me. If I ever have children, you want a bear? All right, cool. Let's go save up and get you a regular bear.
Well, you are a hardcore capitalist when it comes to teddy bears.
Listen, I'm not skimping on my teddies.
Poor kids deserve bears,
Well,
too.
then they should be
Not
giving
just the 1%.
bears away for free.
I don't know what sense that even makes.
During the holidays, they should be like, listen, we're going to donate X amount of bears to Toys for Tots and do it that way. That's the only way they're going to save themselves from this bear debacle.
I read an article, I think it was like Inside Business, that said it actually will probably be good for the brand because even though it pissed people off, it kind of proved that more people like them than you thought.
I had no idea it was
the
a
brand
thing.
was interesting, but
I didn't even know how that store in the mall was making money still.
because they fucking fleece you for $40 a goddamn bear.
How many do you own?
I think 4. Sometimes they do buy one bear and get another one half price. I have a Chewbacca and then a Stormtrooper that I got at the same time. Rocket, and then the little Slimer, but again, he's like an accessory. He was supposed to go with a Ghostbuster. All right, so the new She-Ra was revealed. Everybody was happy and the internet was okay. Everything was great. No one
Because
was
it
upset.
actually looks like a superhero. It does not look like some weird little turd pooped out in Thundera.
No, I'm lying because neckbeards were upset about it.
Of course they were.
Because the new She-Ra, I guess, is younger and she doesn't have boobs. She looks like a kid.
Wait, when did the original She-Ra have boobs?
The original She-Ra looks more womanly. She's got long getaway sticks, and she's got big boobs. And the new She-Ra looks more sort of anime, and wouldn't you know it, neckbeards were like, oh, blah, blah. Apparently these guys only want female cartoon characters that they could jerk off to. If I can't jerk off to it, I'm not happy about it.
Wait, you posted the image of She-Ra on our Pop Culture Men Children Instagram account, and I thought it was cool.
It does look cool. Another reason why people are, I think, upset by it is because the showrunner of the new She-Ra is Noelle Stevenson, creator of Lumberjanes, and Noelle Stevenson is gay. One of the popular descending YouTube videos was boyish lesbian makes She-Ra into boyish lesbian, and it's like, all right, go jerk off to some She-Ra on fucking DeviantArt then. It's weird because it's a similar reaction to Thundercats Roar and Teen Titans Go, but it doesn't have that look at all. It doesn't have the Thundercats Roar sort of like Cal Arts style. It really looks more anime-ish. It actually looks cool to me.
That's what I think. I saw the image. I didn't see was there a trailer or is it just
no
an image?
trailer yet?
I looked at that image and I was like, oh, She-Ra looks like she does CrossFit. She's good.
To be honest with you, this is not a bit. The first crush I ever had in my life was She-Ra. Okay, which probably tells you so much about what's wrong with me. The first crush I ever had as a little kid was on the cartoon character She-Ra. And even given that, I'm not upset that She-Ra doesn't look womanly and have big bosoms.
Yeah. Now, I'm probably going to sound like the biggest hypocrite because I'm going to say, oh, well, the animation in the 80s was different as it is today. But in regards to, me not liking Thundercats Roar, but I think the animation on the new She-Ra cartoon is probably going to be fine because of the way it looks. If it's more anime, it's more anime. It doesn't need to be, I guess, so detailed where you see, her cheekbones every time they do a side profile shot of She-Ra talking, and they would use that same cell over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, the original She-Ra, the original Filmation had a lot of, shortcuts. Like you said, they would reuse certain images and certain movements a bunch of times. There's that famous image from the He-Man show of, someone running away. And a lot of those were rotoscoped, which was they'd use real footage and then paint over it. So it looked kind of real, but also not. He-Man had better characters, but I think She-Ra had a better story.
Well, she had the Hordak Horde.
Yeah, she lived in a dystopian world where He-Man's world was pretty okay, and there was Skeletor who would try to take over, where She-Ra's world was completely taken over, and she was a bad guy in the very beginning because she was raised into it with propaganda, and then she learns that she's wrong and stuff. I think she's got a more interesting story.
Will they make mention that her brother is the master of the universe?
I don't know.
What a shitty thing to do in the 80s.
What?
Oh, well, He-Man's making billions of dollars, and the boys have this. Let's say this is his sister.
Return of the Jedi just came out, and we found out that Luke Skywalker is Princess Leia's brother. Why don't we give He-Man a twin? And that's basically what it is. If you ever watched the pilot to She-Ra, which was a TV movie called Secret of the Swords, her origin story is very much like Luke's story of you were twins, but then you got separated, and then blah, blah, blah. And
wouldn't the mother want to know where her daughter is? What was He-Man's mom's name? Helen of the Universe?
I don't know. She's human. Remember, she was an astronaut from planet Earth.
Yeah, so let's just call her
He-Man
Helen.
and She-Ra are half...
For the hell of it, we'll call her Helen.
Susan.
Susan's a good one. I like that. We'll call her Susan. So Susan and King Randor were a thing.
They had twins.
Yeah, He-Man and She-Ra.
Yeah.
So then how does...
Adam and Adora.
So then how does Adam and Adora get lost? Wouldn't you think the royal family would be protected at all costs? So
I think
Queen Susan would want to hold her children?
Skeletor steals She-Ra and sells her on the black market to Hordak or something, and for some reason King Randor doesn't give a shit. I have no idea.
Maybe they just can only afford one child. Maybe the kingdom wasn't as lavish as we thought it was.
So they just keep the boy and they let the girl go live in an evil dystopia?
Or maybe they actually sold her off and that money started to fuel what Eternia became, which was this plush utopia of just paradise. And then they had the bumbling idiot, which was Skeletor. And they were like, all right, listen, we need something to do. We'll just let him pretend to terrorize.
You believe Skeletor's a false flag operation?
Yes.
That King Randor was in on it, and he let Skeletor be there just so the people thought that there was a fake enemy.
Yeah.
Even though they had fixed the economy. Anyway, we've gone down a He-Man hole, and honestly, we've done this before on the show, so I want to move on. IDW, the comic book imprint, which is owned by Disney, of course. Everything's owned by Disney. IDW... oddly, is going to be making preteen comics for the Marvel characters, and Marvel's working with them. It's weird because Marvel and IDW are both owned by Disney, but Marvel's not printing these comic books. IDW is, even though it's Marvel's characters. It's going to be Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Miles Morales, but it's going to be they kept saying preteens. That's the idea.
So are they 10 and he has these powers at 10?
No, but I think it's written for a 10-year-old. It's not going to be too crazy.
Okay.
It'll probably be like 2 small little adventures in one. Like, I've read some of the Star Wars ones, and it'll be like, in one comic, it'll be like, Rey goes to the store and buys some Advil. And that's the whole little adventure.
Didn't we see something similar like that in Toys R Us before Toys R Us closed? It was like a book where it was just like Star Wars told in 5 minutes.
Oh, there's a bunch of Star Wars, like, kids' books.
And you were really annoyed about that?
Well, it's not canon, and you know how I feel about canon. There's all these kids' books, like Darth Vader and Son, and it's like Darth Vader being a good dad, and it's like he's not a good dad. That's like the whole fucking point. God damn it, Amelia, don't get me riled up like this.
I mean, King Randor wasn't a good dad, but everybody perceives him to be. He sold off one of his children so
you
that
think
way
he was involved with that?
I'm telling you, that had to happen.
He told Skeletor, I'm going to leave the door unlocked. You come in, steal the girl,
We'll
sell it
split
to
the money.
Hordak.
We'll split the money. You take it to go build Snake Mountain, and then I'm going to make the utopia known as Eternia.
Yeah.
And then once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
you come over here and try to take over,
Yeah.
and then you really don't. And
Fuck, man.
we'll work together on this. And then years later, my idiot son, who does nothing all day,
God, Adam sucked.
he'll find the sword, and then you guys could
Yeah.
go off and play Superman and
No,
supervillain.
because he doesn't know that Adam is He-Man. It's like a Clark Kent thing.
I think he knows.
You think he knows?
I think he knows, because look what he did. He orchestrated a kidnapping.
Wow. This is some fucking...
And if you look at it, Randor and Susan never look at She-Ra. They
No.
don't even acknowledge her when she comes to Eternia. There's no, oh my
They were-
God, my child is back.
They were barely there, really, as characters, though.
He-Man, master of the universe, finds your daughter. Wouldn't you want to embrace your daughter and hug your daughter and say, we've missed you?
But it's more like we have He-Man, and then Mattel goes, we want to sell toys to girls. Let's fucking recon a twin in here that never was in there. And it makes no fucking sense, because why would you not give a shit that your daughter was stolen?
Mike, all I'm saying is that it's just a little too clean for my taste.
You don't trust it.
I don't trust it. I think King Randor and Susan knew what they were doing.
Guys, get at us at Pop Culture Man Children on Instagram or at Emilio Sparks on Twitter. I want to know your take on the fucking truth that Emilio's spitting right now.
Makes a lot of sense.
In What the Fuck Are They Rebooting Now news, there's a new Buffy going to come out.
Cartoon, movie, what? TV show?
It is a television program, and it will be... I don't think it's going to be show-ran by Joss Whedon, the creator and original showrunner, but he's involved in it. Originally, they were like, it's going to be a new Buffy, and people were like, oh, okay. But then the new showrunner, a woman named Monica Owusu, I don't know how to say her name, it's Owusu, Owusu Breen, she said, no, it's a spinoff. It's not a reboot. It's that Buffy exists and probably will do a guest spot, but this is a new Slayer in that world.
Named Buffy.
No, not named Buffy.
Oh, so they're not going to call it Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, it's probably going to be called whatever the Vampire Slayer. I'm excited. You know I'm a huge Buffy fan. More Buffy, the better. And I was on board before, but kind of trepidatious. But now that I know that it's that continuity is still there and we're not redoing it, I'm excited because it means we could have
guest spots.
We can have Geller come and guest, and we can have... Because in the world of Buffy... Did you ever watch Buffy?
No.
In the world of Buffy, there are Slayers. There are other Slayers.
Is it on Netflix?
It was. I don't know if it still is.
I think anytime you could take a franchise that kind of stopped when? In like 2000? It's-ish?
Like, no, it went later than you think. It went to like 2005, 2006. I think it was the last season. And then they continued in comic books, but honestly...
It's not the same.
That stuff's not great.
No, but then it went to Angel and Willow and...
Angel was on... I think it started around the third season of Buffy concurrently. They would be on back-to-back. And then Angel, I think, went a year after. So Angel, I think, went to like 07, 08. I never could get into Angel, though, to be honest with you. I watched the key episodes of Angel, like important stuff, but I was never a huge Angel fan. That's it for the news. You got any news for me?
No, this is your segment.
Well,
I shine in segments
usually-
2 and 3.
You do shine, babe. You shine like the fucking... I have to wear sunglasses. You shine so
I
bright.
shine bright like a diamond.
Usually we end by doing Trailer Corner, but we did trailers last week.
We're sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We let you down.
You had a whole mini last week of all the fucking trailers.
What do you want from us?
We're humans. You know
We
what I mean?
pump out a lot of content.
We've pumped out a lot of content.
There's been a lot of episodes of this shit known as Pop Culture Man Children.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year.
Can you imagine?
I feel safely confident that we've made it past the point where a lot of people quit. Because there's a lot of shows out there that have like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
You see like 10 episodes and it was like 2006 and it never... You know what I mean? They had high hopes and then something happened.
Yeah.
We've gone past that gamut. Let's talk shop on the show. What's a bigger deal to you? The 1 year anniversary or the 100th episode? Which should be the party? Which
the
should
100th episode.
The 100th episode will be our
That's
big...
a big deal. Even for me with Wrestle Rap, I'm starting to think, oh man, I might have to do something for 100 episodes.
I think 100 is a bigger deal than the year anniversary because people listen to it in the future, you know? So how it comes out isn't as important as I think the 100. I think, just spitballing, for the 100th, you and me should get like locked in a closet and then just remember old shows and be like, oh, since we're locked in this closet, hey, remember the time we talked about SJWs?
I like that. Ooh,
Cut to a
we should
clip.
do that.
Then come back and then it's all just bad segues. You're like, oh, you think that was fun, but what about the time we talked about Justice League?
I like that. We should definitely do that.
That'll be the 100 special.
Remember that time we came up with a really outlandish idea about why King Randor and Queen Susan gave up their daughter?
And then one of our show regulars like Vin Forte or Nadia will come and let us out of the closet.
And they're just like, what are you guys doing in there? We were trying to get batteries for our recorder, and somehow the latch just locked.
We were reenacting that episode of All in the Family where Archie and Meathead get stuck in a basement, and Archie has a revelation that his father was a bigot.
We also may have copied one of the plots from Clerks, the animated series, when they're trapped in the freezer.
Yes. Keep making Star Wars references. It's warming me up. You want to take a break?
Sure.
All right, let's take a break. I have to pee.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Superfly.
Welcome to the Chill Sesh. You're listening to the Pop Culture Man Children. I'm Mike Mondrano. This is Emilio Sparks, who's going to Snapchat me right now.
And I used the big text.
Awesome.
And I wrote podcasting.
So this is a Chill Sesh. What have you been reading, watching, playing, doing?
Since the video game talk, I started looking and researching a portable gaming device to take with me when I go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that Sega Genesis handheld device thing at like Target for like $34. It's not like the Game Gear, but I guess it would be
the old Sega games.
Yeah. So there's like Sonic on there, Mortal Kombat, a couple other ones.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So I'm thinking about just shelling over $30, maybe $40, whatever it is, just paying for that.
You should do it.
I was thinking about it.
But you won't read comics as much.
I finished The Sandman Volume 3. I have to order 4 and 5.
Yeah.
The 40 would go for both comic books.
Yeah.
The 40 would go for the video game. I don't know what to do. I'm not made of money.
Yeah. But it's not even the money as much as it's the time.
And I like to read.
Yeah. That's why I'm not never do video games normally. I'm kind of doing video games now because it's the summer and I'm teaching less. I hacked my Nintendo and now I have every Nintendo game.
How did you hack it?
It's easy. It's like you could just like go on YouTube and like how to hack it. It comes with 35 games. Now I have 900 games. And by the way, mostly bad. I'd say 15 to 20% of Nintendo games were good. So many of them are terrible.
So you will never play most of these games.
I play a lot of them just like for a bit, just to see what it looks like fucking the Addams Family game, and so the Gremlins 2, the New Batch game.
What about Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt's not one that I have because they haven't made a gun yet.
Wait, so you can't use the
No,
original
you needed the gun? No, you can't.
Why? Because the
original
adapters-
gun wouldn't connect into it. The input for the controller is not the old input.
You really drinking out of a straw right now, pal?
Why do you have to do this to me?
Nothing but plastic.
You know that I love the environment and I worry about climate change. I try to not get new straws. Like when I go to like a drive-through, they'll give me a straw and be like, "No, I'm okay, I don't need it," and I'll use a straw that I've had. I try really to recycle my own straws. For a little while, I had a stainless steel reusable straw, but I got sick of cleaning it, and I was taking it with me because I drink coffee in the car. So I was like, it would be like leaving every day, like phone, keys, straw. Am I this guy?
Yeah, it's called priorities because you
motherfucker.
care.
I tell you, Emilio Sparks never misses a chance to high road me.
You know what I bought that I'm waiting for it to come in the mail?
What did you buy?
Bamboo cutlery.
Uh-huh.
So I can take it on the go with me. And glass
Yeah.
Tupperware.
Now, where should I send your fucking medal? Do you want to get it at the house here, or?
I want you to present it to me like how Chewie and Han
Dun,
got
dun,
their
dun,
medals.
dun, dun, dun. Chewie actually didn't get one. That's a big controversy. But now they're going to, like, Starbucks is going to start doing paper straws, which
Yeah.
are biodegradable. And I think some other places are going to start doing, like, sippy cups. So I'm for that.
I look at you, and you're vegan, and, you know, you're woke, and you're an SJ-dub, but yet at the same time, you're drinking out of a plastic fucking straw.
All right, let me ask you a specific question. How was the last Sandman that you read?
We covered it on Pop Culture Man.
I thought you would have read a new one since then.
No, I've been so busy.
What have you been doing?
Been editing some Wrestle Raps.
Yeah,
This show is a fucking machine as well.
it is.
So I've been doing
finally
that.
oiled.
It is a finely oiled Pop Culture Man, children.
Well, you've been working. I've been seeing everything. I saw Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I saw Skyscraper, starring The Rock. I saw Teen Titans. I saw...
I saw one movie that I'm leaving as, I guess, my obsession. Well, I am obsessed with it because one of my friends star in it.
So other than that movie, you haven't been watching or anything?
No. We talked about it before in the last episode where we just watched the trailers for the summer blockbusters that are coming out that Comic-Con released. So I'm reading other people's comments about the trailer or just about Jason Momoa, and I did not know that America has Momoa fever already.
It's not just you.
I thought it was just me. No, but America has Momoa fever.
Yeah.
I did not realize that just because you like one trailer from one Momoa fan page, on your Discover page, your algorithm now has tons of other Momoa fan pages, and most of these fans pages have hundreds, if not thousands, of followers.
Really?
Yeah, it's odd. And then people get into discussions about Jason Momoa in the comments
But
section.
there's not a lot of content there, right? I
No.
mean, like, how many movies has he made?
Not a lot, and I watched one that was really bad a couple of weeks ago.
Was it called Justice League?
No, it was called The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch?
Yeah.
What was that about?
You ready for this?
Sure.
Here's some of the cast. Ready?
Yeah,
Jason Momoa,
of course.
Jim Carrey,
Really?
Keanu Reeves.
Did you dream this movie? I've never heard of this.
No, this is real. It's about a dystopian society.
Yeah.
Once you leave the state of Texas, you're on your own. It's non-governable outside of Texas. So what happens is some people will get abducted once they want to see what the terrain has to offer in the desert.
Yeah.
And you wind up being chained to, let's say, a plane or a water heater.
What?
Just to be food
So it's
for
like
the people
Mad
living.
Max?
You are food for the people living in this
What
society.
kind of genre would you call this? Isn't it?
First off, it's one of these bullshit cool, oh, we're Vice, so we're going to make a movie, and it's really not going to make sense.
And Jim Carrey's in it?
Jim Carrey plays a mute.
What the fuck is this? Was this movie released anywhere? Where did you see it?
On Netflix.
Was it a straight to Netflix?
No, this was in theaters.
I don't know how that fucking flew by me.
It was released June 23rd, 2017.
Well, that was before I had my movie pass.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves plays the Dream.
Sure.
Jim Carrey plays the Hermit.
Uh-huh.
Jason Momoa plays the Miami Man.
Okay.
Giovanni Ribisi plays Bobby.
Wow, what a fucking... This is a veritable who's who of the 1990s.
It's so bad. This movie was really bad, dude. I was like, ugh, why am I sitting here watching this? Oh, I get it. Because I like Momoa.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to sit here and watch this.
Jim Carrey as the Hermit.
Yeah, the Hermit. He don't speak in it. He just goes around with his shopping cart collecting items from, like, trash heaps and, like, planes that crashed in the desert and automobiles that no longer work. Like, he gave Jason Momoa a snow globe in exchange for a knife.
Sure. Trisha Alsawisky from The Rap said, feels less like a coherent film and more like a pastiche. Angelica Jade Bastine from RogerEbert.com said, a film with neither engaging emotional threads nor the kind of panache that makes such cinematic mayhem worth it.
Mike, there was one scene where Jason Momoa is doing an oil painting of his daughter.
Sure.
Right? And for most of the movie, he doesn't speak. Because when he does open his mouth, he does a really bad Cuban accent.
Oh,
so
boy.
There's this real touching scene where he's painting his daughter, and you could tell he's looking at her and he loves her, and you know, you could tell he genuinely cares for his child. Then he goes outside, puts on his 80s Walkman cassette, puts the headphones on, and then we hear Comma Chameleon by Culture Club.
Sure.
As he's walking to this woman who's chained, who's already missing an arm. She's begging, please don't do this to me again. I can't do this. Please just let me leave. Let me go. He hugs her, embraces her, breaks her neck. Then we see a scene that he's hacking her up like he's a butcher at a supermarket.
Oh, that's gross.
Then you see another scene minutes after that one of him and his daughter eating the woman he just hacked up.
So it's just exploitative bullshit, but I'm just guessing from what you're saying that it's one of these movies that is really exploitative and like gross, but it pretends like it's classy because it's pretending like it's supposed to be like super like political.
Yeah, and it's a Vice.
But it's really just fucking...
And it's a Vice-produced vehicle.
So it's just fucking
like, look
broy.
at it. I want you to read the comments.
Well, Josh Slater-Williams from Sci-Fi Now says, the style mismatch, also including a bit of Mad Max, doesn't coalesce into anything substantial, nor do the flashy attempts at transgression in political commentary amount to more than insipidness.
Well, there's a scene where they're all giving out these... the Dream is Keanu Reeves, and he's a drug dealer. He has like this weird cartel thing. He kind of looks like a...
Was this written by like a 14-year-old who's trying pot for the first time?
Probably, but he's a...
He's going to be called the Dream Man, and he sells drugs.
But he looks like he's a cross between Pablo Escobar...
Sure.
...and Tony Clifton. You know what we should do? You should watch it, and then the next time we record an episode, we should talk about it.
I feel like I have to watch this.
It's so bad.
Critic consensus, The Bad Batch has its moments, but it's too thinly written and self-indulgent to justify its length. It's 5 minutes short of 2 hours.
Yeah. Now, I remember seeing advertisements for this movie everywhere, and
really?
all it was Jason Momoa, jacked.
Is he the star?
Yeah, holding a cleaver in a side holster.
Sure.
With glasses, just looking jacked and tattooed. And then once it came to Netflix, I was like, oh, this can't be bad. It has Jason Momoa and Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey in it. This can't be bad. Oh, it was bad.
Arlen is abandoned in Texas wasteland that is fenced off from civilization. While trying to navigate the unforgiving landscape, Arlen is captured by a savage band of cannibals led by mysterious Miami Man. With her life on the line, she makes her way to the Dream as she adjusts to life on the Bad Batch. Arlen discovers that being good or bad mostly depends on who's standing next to you. Well, that sounds like garbage. Arlen is played by Suki Waterhouse.
Very pretty girl.
Diego Luna's in it.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is Keanu Reeves as the Dream. And he's surrounded by his harem of pregnant wives.
Oh, wow, he does look like Tony Clifton.
With machine guns.
You're in the front row. Oh, this movie looks fucking terrible. Do you think Jim Carrey had lines and then he was like, I'm not gonna say these, and they were like, okay, whatever.
He was like, this is bullshit.
You know what? My character's mute now. How about that?
And it took me a while to realize that, wait a minute, this is Jim Carrey. It's so bad.
But is it good bad?
I think you'll get a kick out of it for how bad it is. There's really no plot.
Well, I saw Skyscraper with my brother, and we fucking had a ball making fun of it and talking about it and making jokes through it. And we actually guessed every line of dialogue and every plot point as it would happen. It's basically Towering Inferno meets Die Hard meets The Rock's in it. We kept making Scream jokes because Nev Campbell plays The Rock's wife.
How's she
Who's
look?
age appropriate. She looks great, actually. The bad guys are German, of course, for reasons I don't quite understand. It was a fun action movie. Teen Titans was a good movie. I thought it was hilarious. The plot for Teen Titans was... It was very meta. All the superheroes in the world aren't being superheroes because they're making movies, because all we do is make superhero movies. The bad guy's plot is he makes superhero movies popular so superheroes only make movies so he can commit crimes. And then the Teen Titans want to have their own movie, but they can't get one, and then they get one, and they split up for a little while. The funniest joke for me, which is not a joke for children, they're on the studio lot, the Warner Brothers lot, and the Teen Titans are trying to sneak in, and Superman is there. Because in these movies, the superheroes play themselves. Superman is there, and Superman is, like, guarding the stage or whatever, so they're trying to get past him. So they go, let's call him. So Cyborg calls Superman, and he's, like, doing Lois Lane's voice, or, like, doing a bad female voice. And he's like, Superman, help me. Please save me from Gene Hackman's real estate plots. Which is such a fucking great burn on the original Superman movie. It's like, no kid gets that Gene Hackman
you got it,
reference.
though.
I laughed hysterically.
So it's a movie geared towards adults, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One reviewer said it's like Deadpool that's family friendly because it's just constantly making fun of superhero movies. At one point, this producer says, sorry, you know, the Teen Titans are just sidekicks. You're not good superheroes. We won't make a movie about you. We would make a movie about you if you were the last superheroes on Earth. So the Teen Titans Robin decides that if they go back in time and they change everybody's origins, they'll be the only superheroes. So there's this really funny sequence where you hear the Back to the Future music.
Wow.
And they go back to Krypton. They stop Jor-El, who's like basically Brando. They stop him from sending Kal-El on the ship.
So they're recorrecting the DC cinematic universe.
Right. They go back to Batman's origin, and the Waynes are about to walk down the that alleyway and die.
Yeah.
And Cyborg is like, hey, why don't you not go down this horrible murder alleyway and you go down that safe one over there? They go, and you see Aquaman as a baby, and they this is really fucked up, actually. They throw in a plastic beer can thing, and Aqua Baby gets caught in it, and I guess the baby dies. But then they come back to the future, and the world's destroyed because there's no superheroes. It's a really funny sequence. It's so meta. If you like superheroes and super movies, it's so funny.
So then how did they deal with the world being destroyed when they came back?
They went back and redid it. They were like, fuck, we screwed up.
And they redid everything?
Yeah.
So listen, Thomas, Martha Wayne, go down this really bad-looking alleyway.
There's actually a really dark joke. When they go back, the mother's not wearing pearls, her classic pearls, and Cyborg puts the pearls on her and just throws her into the alleyway, and you hear a gunshot. But it's like, there's a lot of grown-up jokes in there that, like, are too fast for kids to get.
I wasted my time with the Bad Batch, and you're watching something entertaining.
It was really funny. This is a spoiler. Stan Lee has a cameo.
Stop it.
And there's just a scene, and then you just see Stan Lee in the back, like, looking at the camera, sweeping, and he's just there. And then the Titans move out of screen, and he comes up to the camera, he's like, hey, and it's really his voice. He's like, hey, it's me, Stan Lee, doing one of my subtle cameos. What? This is a DC movie. It's just good, funny bits. Like, you're laughing at it. It's really funny. I saw Mamma Mia: Here We Go Again. That was another like hate watch. Not a hate watch. That was another like goofy. This is gonna be stupid, but I like ABBA music and let's have fun with it.
Was the Meryl in it?
She's in it for like 5 seconds. Her character's dead in it from the get go. You could tell that she was like, yeah, I'll do a day. The story in the present day is barely a story. It's the daughter, Amanda Seyfried from the first movie. She's reopening her mom's like villa / bed and breakfast, and the mother died off screen last year in the continuity, so they're sad about that. But then there's a past, and then in the past we see the mother's story of how the mother meets these 3 guys and gets pregnant. Because the plot of the first movie in the Broadway show is that this girl doesn't know who her father is, and it could be one of 3 guys.
Because genetic testing just didn't exist.
Yes.
On the island.
No.
So let me guess. Are the dads Steve Guttenberg, Tom Selleck, and Ted Danson?
Close. One of the dads is Pierce Brosnan.
I know him.
He cannot sing, and he doesn't sing too much in this movie, but he kind of sings a little bit.
He's just handsome, Mike.
He is very handsome. He was the one Meryl really loved.
So they never
My
say who
fan
the father
theory
is?
I think he's the dad.
So they never say who the father is?
No, they never say it. They all just sort of say we're going to all 3 be the dad and all love her and stuff.
That doesn't work.
It works in Mamma Mia verse. Which, by the way, one of the weird things about Mamma Mia is, like, none of the timeline makes any sense. Like, Cher is supposed to be Meryl Streep's mother, but Cher is, like, the exact same age as her. And, like, none of...
Is Cher in present day as well?
Yeah, Cher is in present day.
This makes no sense.
She's alive. None of it makes any sense. You really have to turn your brain off when you watch it, because the timeline makes no sense.
Are they going to do another Mamma Mia?
God, I hope so. I hope there's more Cher in it. Cher sings Fernando.
I'm not your babe, I'm not your babe.
Fernando.
Isn't that a Lady Gaga song?
No, well, you're just singing the Lady Gaga song.
Isn't that the song that Cher was singing?
No, Cher's singing, there was something in the air that night. The stars look bright. Fernando.
Oh, I thought that she was singing...
It's ABBA.
I'm not your babe, I'm not your babe.
Is that song called Fernando?
Fernando.
No, isn't that song...
I have no idea.
Called something else?
I have no idea.
Hopefully if they do a third one, they'll figure out a way to put Gaga.
What?
Like Cousin Gaga comes into it.
No. This is what they do. The grandmother dies, played by Cher, and Gaga plays the grandmother, and we get another origin story set with a weird...
It's become a sci-fi series where it's timelines folding in on themselves. It's like Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
No, it's like X-Men Days of Future Past. Gaga has to go back in time and save Fernando. It's gonna be great.
So if anything you could take away from this segment, just know that The Bad Batch is not good.
Yeah.
And that Mamma Mia has multiple timelines that sync as one, and Teen Titans is the best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah.
If we wanted to play a What Did We Learn from the Chill Sesh.
Bad Batch, bad in a bad way.
Oh.
Mamma Mia and Skyscraper, bad in a good way.
Yes.
Teen Titans,
good in a good way.
I think that's what we learned.
You going to promise me that you're going to watch The Bad Batch?
I really want to.
I'll go see Teen Titans Go.
I have a sick feeling that I'll like it. And then you and me will argue.
Because I didn't, and you know me. I'm pro Momoa.
Right, but I could see me liking it in weird, because you know me, I'm weird.
It's so bad.
I don't know how this movie snuck by me.
Let's take a break.
All right, let's take a break.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright, Fernando. They were shining there for you and me, for liberty, Fernando.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Man Children. I'm Mike Bongiorno. This is Mr. Meteor Sparks over to my left.
Yo!
This podcast comes out every Wednesday for your hearing pleasure. This is our obsessions. So what are we obsessed with?
I said during the Chill Sesh that I was obsessed with a movie that one of my friends started. Now, I don't know if I'm obsessed with the picture because it's a good picture, or I'm just a good friend who's a ride or die and I'll wave the flag. Now, it's a good picture, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think my loyalty to my friend makes me obsessed with the
And is this a real
film.
friend, or is this a friend like Common's a friend?
No, we talk every day.
This is a real friend now.
Every day.
All right, well, what's the movie?
It's called Mohawk.
Never heard of it.
It was on Netflix.
Was it released theatrically?
Yes, it was. Small run. Small little indie run.
And let's see, Mohawk. Here's the summary. Late in the War of 1812, a young Mohawk woman and her two lovers battle a squad of American soldiers hell-bent on revenge.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun. It's directed by Ted Geoghegan, and it's written by Ted Geoghegan and Grady Hendrix, who's a novelist who I actually like. He wrote Horror Store and My Best Friend's Exorcism and the book Paperbacks from Hell. That was like maybe the second episode. That was my obsession.
Call back.
Tell me about it. You're obsessed with it?
Well, yeah, my buddy's in it. His wrestling name is Luke Harper. And he
But what's
plays,
his real name?
Well, I don't know if I want to give that out.
No, you do, because on IMDb he's credited with his real name.
Oh, his real name is on there.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Luke Harper? What does it say on IMDb? It says John Huber.
John Huber.
Okay.
John Huber is how he's billed in the movie,
Yes.
or at least on IMDb.
Well, because in the opening credits on the film, it also says Jonathan Huber.
All right, so then
it
that's
doesn't
how
say
he's-
Luke Harper.
So
Yeah.
then that's not a secret.
No. Well, it's the internet. Anybody can really find anything.
Yeah. So you're just obsessed with it because your friend's in it? Is it good?
Yeah, no, it is good. I like it. It's like an action horror thriller kind of thing set in 1812. And what I like about the film is that it's just shot in the woods. And you could tell that they didn't have a huge budget. But what they were able to pull off is really impressive. Now, I am not a history buff, so I don't know what the War of 1812 was about.
Mm-hmm.
And I will openly say that with no shame. My friend played a lovable giant.
Sure.
And, like, he was just doing what he was ordered to do as a soldier. Like, you could tell that there was a conflict in a battle where he did not want to inflict any harm on anybody. But, you know, because he's supposed to serve his country and he's supposed to serve under his commander, he's going to have to do things that he may or may not be proud of.
How was his performance?
Oh, John was good. He killed it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was cool. To me, he's so charismatic by saying limited dialogue when he wrestles and he cuts his promos.
Yeah.
That watching this film, you actually get to see that he has range. And he plays a lot of facial expressions, too, for a dude that has a beard down to his chest.
Okay. The War of 1812 was between America and the UK. Is the UK involved at all, or is it just like during that time period here's a story about Native Americans?
One of the heroine's boyfriends or lovers is a British arms dealer by the name of Joshua.
Okay.
And you might know him. He was on Twin Peaks.
Yeah, he was the douchebag who played Audrey Horne's son.
There was a scene where they're like making out and they alluded to having sex. And then when you saw the other lover come into play, the three of them, they were a cohesive unit. Like when they...
Are they polyamorous?
I think so, because when you saw the settlers come for the first time and they all broke up, Two Rivers went one way, Joshua and Mohawk went the other. Oak is her name.
Mm-hmm.
Oak passionately kissed Two Rivers, and then Joshua and Two Rivers had a look like, be careful. Like, wow, you could tell like they really care for each other, and he's like, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get hurt.
Okay.
And then Two Rivers runs off.
Okay.
And I was sitting there and I'm watching that and I'm like, wow, wait a minute. Okay, this adds a whole nother dynamic to it.
Yeah,
so
man.
now I understand when do we say spoiler alert and then we do...
Sure.
Okay, so spoiler alert. Two Rivers gets killed by the soldiers.
Really?
Yeah. So now you see Oak exacting her revenge,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was, all right, I get it. But it wasn't like, I'm going to run at you
So is it
and I'm
like-
going to shoot a musket or throw a knife at you. No, it was like at night and she would like...
Stealthy?
Yes, all decked out in like war paint, and it's great, man. I'm telling you, like it was cool.
Is it a
was
violent
cool.
movie?
Yeah, it gets man. Like
I mean, do you see shit? Is it like gory? Is it like...
well, there's one scene where one of the colonel's sons, who's in the regiment with my buddy John, gets shot in the head, and you see pieces of his brain
okay.
hang on his father's face.
That's pretty graphic.
Then they cut to a scene later on where they're talking about another soldier that got shot with an arrow through his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw my friend John pull out the the arrow, and then you see like the blood is starting to gush, and he's trying to hold it, and you see like it's a really gnarly looking wound. And
It's like Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th.
it's really gnarly. And now that is where I knew, okay, John has range, because now he's looking at this guy.
Did you text your friend during the movie, like, hey, I just saw the scene where this happens.
Yes.
Good work.
Yes.
And was he like, who is this? New phone, who this?
No. 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 Stop that. Stop that. How dare you? How dare you?
It sounds like an interesting movie. Does it have a satisfying ending?
I'm not going to give that away.
Sure.
That is something for you guys to watch for yourselves. But it definitely had a political urgency mixed with like a Wes Craven rough around the edges, like The Hills Have Eyes.
Like that, like Wes Craven's early movies that are super crazy violent.
Like The Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
it's like a mixture of that and The Hills Have
okay,
Eyes.
all right. So that's the revenge. It's
Yes.
like you fucked me over, and now it's going to be graphic revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as an audience member, don't know if you should be rooting for it or not because you're identifying with the protagonist, but also like it's really fucking crazy what they're doing.
Yes. I think you should see it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's on Netflix.
My obsession is the movie 8th Grade, which was written and directed by Bo Burnham, who's somebody that I didn't used to like because he was like a YouTube star. I guess I was just like a bitter asshole about it because 8th Grade is a really brilliant movie. It's about this
8th grader?
8th grade girl named Kayla who doesn't have a lot of friends, and she's very nervous and awkward, and she has bad skin. She's in that awkward place in a kid's life when they're 13 and they're not a kid anymore, but they're not an adult. Plot-wise, not a whole lot happens, but in her life, like the life of a 13-year-old, she like gets invited to a party that she's nervous about. She is graduating and she hangs out with older kids at one point, and that's a big deal for her. You know, it's like the big dramatic things that happen when you're 13 that really aren't big dramatic things, but to you it's everything. It's like such a huge deal. When I was watching it, I really like identified with it because I wasn't a girl, but when I was that age, I was just as awkward and scared of the world as the character Kayla is. So I was like, wow. I was watching it like, yeah, I've been at parties like this where I don't know how to fucking make a friend or enter a conversation. Part of the movie hit too close to home for me, but it probably does that for a lot of people. I think the real breakout is going to be this girl, Elsie Fisher, who plays Kayla. She was literally the age of the character she plays, which you never see in teen movies. She graduated 8th grade. That summer, she made the movie 8th Grade, and then she started high school. And in the movie, she's graduating, and everyone keeps saying, like, oh, you excited for high school? And she was actually about to go to high school. So she literally was playing that age. And you could tell because, you know, you look like a CW show, and they're like 30-year-olds.
Yeah, they're our age.
This girl looks like a little girl, but she's funny. She wears her sort of heart on her face, and you could sort of see the anxiety in her eyes. And she just gives an amazing performance for a kid that age. When I was watching it, I was thinking, like, I'm so glad this movie exists now because young people will watch it, and kids that age will watch it, and it'll make them feel like they're not alone.
So they're identifying.
Yeah. One of the interesting things about the movie was it sort of says at the same time things change, but things always stay the same. Because nowadays they've got Snapchat, they've got YouTube, and we didn't have that when we were little kids. But things stay the same because despite all that shit, kids are still kids. You're still going to get excited when you hang out with older kids. You're still going to feel awkward around, you know, taking off your shirt at a pool party. So it's really interesting because I was watching it as a 35-year-old man and being like, wow, I felt these moments when I was in the 8th grade.
You still feel awkward taking your shirt off at a pool party.
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie where she's invited by the popular girl's mom to the pool party, and she's like, I don't know if I could come. And that's me now. I hate being invited to parties. 8th Grade, written and directed by Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham, the director, was on WTF recently, and he said something really interesting to Mark Maron where he said, I think we're always just 13. Like, we get older and we learn how to hide what we're feeling, and with young kids, they're not good at hiding it, but we're always still having those feelings of awkward or what do I say and what do I do, and what am I supposed to feel in this moment? You'll find yourself identifying with it, or at least you'll remember being that age and going, oh shit, I remember that. So that's my obsession.
Did you cry?
No, I thought I was going to, but as touching as the movie was, it didn't have any moments of sadness or like jubilance that like pushed me to the edge of crying. I definitely felt for the character, but I wasn't moved to tears at any point.
All right.
That's what I got for you today.
That's all I can give.
Well,
we're analyzing ourselves, wondering about being 13 again.
We're all 13 all the time.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. said something best. You learn everything you're supposed to learn at 16.
My favorite quote from Robert Downey Jr. is, whose bed is this? This has been Pop Culture Man Children. I am Mike Bongiorno. That's Emilio Sparks.
I-O.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Share us with your friends and your loved ones. Get at Emilio Sparks on Twitter, at Emilio Sparks. We're also on Instagram, at Pop Culture Man Children. Of course, don't be afraid to hashtag Pop Culture Man Children if you want to, show us some cool stuff. That's it. Let's go bye-bye.
Go bye-bye.